the Brainiac Corporation. Every day, a crack team of Britain's finest minds get to grips with the fundamentals of scientific knowledge and understanding.
Welcome.
So step inside, but prepare yourself for a bumpy ride as we embark on the worst excesses that are Brainiac Science Abuse.
Welcome to Brainiac, the show that does to science what lorries do to hedgehogs. The big science tonight. How hard is an engine? What's the best chemistry stunt? And can we make a tsunami? But first, in the Brainiac slow motion facility, a small team are devoted to the remarkable line of research we call things, but very slowly. So what's this week's thing, but very slowly? Some popcorn popping. Normally, this isn't particularly interesting to watch. But let's see that again, very slowly. At 4,000 frames per second, the individual kernels can be seen turning inside out as the heated moisture within breaks the hard shell and the starchy endosperm unfurls in an edible spongy foam. The violent unwrapping launches the newborn popped corn in apparent celebration as hot oil transforms hardened grain into tasty snack. All this in a 50th of a second. Some popcorn popping. One more thing, but very slowly. Here at the Brainiac Cheese Testing Centre, we've been trying to answer one of man's greatest mysteries. What's the best cheese? And after months of tasting and testing, we've eliminated almost all the cheeses, apart from these ones here. The cheddar. It's been the staple diet of ploughmen for literally millions of years. The Edam. It has a tough exterior, could be a strong contender. We've got the Brie, or fromage. The Emmental, these indentations, they're actually made by the noses of the cheese testers as they go about their work. And here beneath this hat, mozzarella. Often mistaken for buffalo droppings, they are in fact made from buffalo's milk in the shape of the droppings. And finally, it's the Italian stallion, the Parmesan. We've got 3 rounds of tests to eliminate the more rubbish cheeses, until only the best is left. Brainiacs are renowned for having cheesy feet, but never have they been as cheesy as this. We've transformed these cheeses into high-spec running shoes, and in this test of endurance, they'll be asked to run the short course. This race isn't about speed, it's about endurance. The cheeses that are the most damaged will be eliminated. Go! Those cheeses are certainly taking a good pounding. The softer varieties, like mozzarella, are providing plenty of bounce, but don't look like they're lasting too well. The harder ones seem more resilient, but could crumble at any moment. And as they cross the line, it's clear some cheeses are more durable than others. Well done, you completed the course, but let's take a look at the state of those cheeses. Well, Brie, very little left of that. I'm afraid you're out. The Parmesan, no damage whatsoever. Parmesan's in. Emmental, still looking very good. A nice springy cheese there. You're in. Mozzarella, completely disintegrated. Mozzarella's out. And the Edam looking slightly damaged, but I'm still going to let that remain in the running for now. And the cheddar still looking good. The next test is one of bounciness and flight. Vital characteristics within the realm of any cheese. I'm going to bowl each of these cheeses at this batsman. He's going to attempt to whack them over the row of Brainiac fielders, and if they break through, they're in. If they fall short, they're out. Let's go. First up is the Emmental. Now then, these holes here may cause unexpected movement in flight, so watch out. Emmental way over the boundary and through to the next round. Next up, Edam. It's shattered on impact into a million cheesy pieces. Out! Out! Now for the Parmesan. And it's an easy catch. Its density means it's a heavier cheese ball and therefore harder to hit. Out! Parmesan out! Out! And finally, cheddar. It's gone over the Brainiac fielders and joins Emmental in the final round. There's absolutely nothing between these two cheeses, so we're going to need an independent and expert adjudicator. And here he is. This is Malcolm. He's been studying cheese for the last 2 years and comes from a long line of cheese experts. Whichever cheese he goes for will be the winner. And remember, his decision is final. Okay, Malcolm, select your cheese. Which one's it going to be? And he's heading towards the Emmental, but is he veering? No, he's sniffing the Emmental. Looks like he's going for the cheddar. Is it cheddar or is it Emmental? He looks like he's got... I'm going to say he's gone for the Emmental. He's in the Emmental. He's on the Emmental. It's the Emmental. Thank you, Malcolm. Emmental, I hereby crown you King of all cheeses. My liege.
Brainiac. Brainiac.
At the end of a grueling day abusing science, our Brainiac indulges in a warm bowl of his most favoritist thing in the whole world. Custard. And each night as he drifts off, his tiny subconscious mind transports him to a magical world. A world of custard dreams. At the heart of his fantasy is a pool filled to the brim with custard. Brainiac knows that if he slaps the surface hard enough, he can awaken custard's non-Newtonian properties, enabling him to do all sorts of miraculous things on its surface. But what will the Brainiac dream about tonight? A nail that needs banging into a piece of wood. So this is it. One Brainiac and his pool of yellow stuff. Will custard give him a firm enough surface on which to hammer the nail?
Feel the non-Newtonian force, young Brainiac.
The runny custard is the least of the Brainiac's worries. He can't even strike the nail. But then, success! The starch molecules in the liquid lock together on impact, creating a surface nearly as firm as a sturdy workbench. And he celebrates with a lap of honor around the pool. But it was just a dream. Or was it?
I love hard things.
Over the past 9 weeks, viewers have had their hard things subjected to Tyler's 3 hardness tests. 1 ton of bricks, 1 angle grinder, and 1 pot of thermite. The 9 results on Tyler's hard ranker leaderboard range from flimsy through firm to very hard indeed. But can our 10th and final hard thing top the lot and put the artificial hip out of joint?
Today's very hard thing has been brought in by Nick from Essex. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Tyler.
How hard is your thing?
I think it's very hard.
Let's have a look at it. looks pretty hard. What is it?
It's an engine.
Is it a cast iron engine with alloy head and whose cylinders can withstand internal temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees centigrade? Well, it looks hard, but just how hard is it? Get 'em up, boys!
Most cars are tested by running them into brick walls. But can the engine survive a ton of bricks crashing into it from 30 metres high?
3, 2, 1, release!
It's sweet revenge for the wall as it engulfs the engine. It's in fairly good shape, but it's going to need a bit of a service, giving it a hardness rating of 6 out of 10.
Well, the big end's gone, and now the engine has to face the grind of its life.
How will it fare against my 9-inch angle grinder?
Brainiac, get grinding.
The engine's performance has stalled somewhat, offering only slight resistance to the angle grinder, giving it a mediocre abrasion rating of 4 out of 10.
Oh, that's a chip off the old engine block. Now it's time to face the thermite. The engine is sitting beneath my pot of thermite, and I think it might overheat.
The thermite pours down, but the solid engine block is standing proud, the hot liquid simply dripping off its crankshaft. This defiant display earns it a heat resistance rating of 8 out of 10. The engine scored a total of 18 points.
So the engine's in third place, with a respectable ranking of hard. But the hardest thing I've ever come across is the artificial hip.
Now that's hard.
How hard is your thing?
Greetings, gas fanatics, and welcome to my weekly webcast, the science phenomenon that is gasbangwallop.com. Brought to you by me, Barry Bernard, and my good friend there behind the camera, Clive. And let's see what the gas is meeting this week. It's Clive's filing cabinet, empty now due to the unexpected resolution of the court case. Without any further ado, let's go gaseous! And put some clothes on, will you, Clive? It's quite repulsive. My top secret collection of gases. They're so top secret that I can't let you know what they are because of reasons of national security. Can't even let you know where they are. Right, I'm going to put them in the cabinet. Well, the balloon is set, and so is the fuse. You're about to witness the diabolical power of gas molecules. Right, leg it! Leg it, son! Come on, Gravy Sacks, get into position. Right, are you... Oh, hey, look, you see, look at that! It's raining filing cabinet! Another stunning victory for gas. But remember, gas can be a cruel mistress, so leave it to us experts. You can file that onto fantastic, and it's all thanks to gasbangwallop.com. You great fat knacker, you nearly pushed me over.
Professor Mayang Lee, bringing beauty as well as brains to the world of Brainiac. The prof has been continuing her fine work in the field of fluid dynamics, finding out which objects disappear down the toilet when she flushes. So, what's inside Mayang Lee's clam this week? A mobile phone. Often carelessly dropped in the loo when the trousers are pulled up too hastily. But how will it fare at the bottom of Mayang's toilet with 20 litres of water cascading down upon it? Will it flush or float? It's a floater, or more accurately, a sinker. The density of the tightly packed circuitry within the phone gave it enough inertia to withstand the force of the flush, leaving it free to be fished out and used once more. Thanks, Prof. Nice clam.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Chemistry Deathmatch! Featuring Professor John Chemical Kilcoyne and science's biggest loser,
Hello, well, last time Bunhead's colours gave him a 5-4 lead. Now it's the final round and Bunhead is hot favourite to take home this, the coveted crown of King of Chemistry. Surely Kilcoyne just hoping to snatch a draw.
Gentlemen,
as we see who can perform the best chemistry stunt.
I want a good, clean fight. Return to your corners and prepare your chemicals.
Bunhead with soap solution and the highly explosive hydrogen gas, or H2, and there it is. Kilcoyne with minus 196 degree liquid nitrogen. Handle this stuff with care.
Bunhead, please perform your stunt.
And there's Bunhead with flammable hydrogen bubbles on his head. This should be interesting. Wowzers! The hydrogen explodes in a red flash. Don't try this at home, folks.
Professor, please perform your stunt.
Kilcoyne fighting fire with ice. But what's he up to? This stuff will freeze his fingers solid. What's this? Oh no, he's got a hammer. Surely he's not... Oh yes, he is. That's gotta hurt. And he seems to have developed a fingerless glove there. And Bunhead's down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But hang on, it was all sleight of hand. That's super frozen banana he's bashing. But has Kilcoyne's finger-smashing stunt pulled victory out of almost certain defeat? Amazing, that's 5 rounds each, but Kilcoyne wins by a knockout. And here comes the crown. That's what he's been waiting for. Well, it's been almost too much to comprehend. Thank you for watching and good night. This is a map of the world. This is the land that we live on. And this, here, is the sea, covering 70% of the planet's surface. Man has always respected the sea, but can he mimic it? Today, with a nod towards Mother Nature, we ask, what's the best DIY tidal wave? To water the fertile seeds of my invention, I need a man who literally wets the pants of innovation. The tsunami of science, that is, John Tickle. There he is, there. Here we are, 150 miles inland beside the Brainiac tidal wave testing pool. How are you going to measure the success of our exploits?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Vic, because I have my equipment over here. Now, you see, what's going to happen is that as the wave approaches the coast, the bottom of the wave hits the sea floor. I'll be measuring both the height of the wave and how far inland it gets.
John, I've actually built a seaside town, and the people are going to comment on the results of the experiment as they happen.
Very scientific, Vic.
Thank you. There's only one thing we could possibly use to threaten this cardboard coastal test town. a Ford Fiesta 1.3 gear. It made a bit of a splash when it was released in 1988, but can it make us a wave when released from 30 metres?
3, 2, 1, bombs away!
The car slaps the surface, displacing water in all directions and forming a miniature wave. Tsunamis are created when large quantities of ocean are displaced by underwater earthquakes or volcanoes or by meteorite impacts. But all our hatchback-like meteor has managed is a 10-centimetre high wavette. And with our test town a full 2.5 metres from danger, there's no damage and absolutely nothing to get excited about.
John, that was an absolutely super splash. But what happened to the tidal wave?
When the car hit the surface of the water, all the energy was transferred to the top of the water. We didn't really get that wave produced.
Stay there.
So, if our mini meteorite impact isn't good enough for the job, we're going to need a courageous person to bravely put something under the water.
Right, John, I'm convinced what we need to do is make a really big explosion. Say hello to my good friend, Dynamite. Here, put that in position.
As I courageously climb bravely out of the Brainiac tidal testing pool, our explosive of choice is lowered 2 metres beneath the surface.
I think you might be pleasantly surprised by this, John. Are you ready?
Have our fingers crossed, Vic.
Me too. 3, 2, 1, explosion! Whoa! Look, there's quite a big wave coming down here now.
We've got a wave, haven't we?
But is it a tidal wave?
It's a much bigger wave this time, and it hits the shoreline, pushing it up a full 75 centimetres. Simulating an underwater eruption or earthquake has done much better than the car, but has still fallen well short of the 2.5 metres needed to worry the people of Test Centre on Sea.
John, was it a tidal wave?
Not really, Vic. I think the problem was that the explosives lacked the sheer power of an underwater volcano. We need something with more sustained energy release, I think.
You're a hard man to please, John Tickle. But please you I shall. Stay there.
We're going to need something big, and we're going to need something heavy. But most of all, we're going to need something big and heavy.
Behold my monolith. OK, John, tremble with fear. Hoist her up.
Weighing in at 3 tons, the cargo container should displace its own weight in water, sending a 3-ton tidal wave of disaster movie proportions hurtling down the length of the test pool. Will this be the end for the people of my tidal test town? Let's hope so.
Do you see what I've done, John? I've cocked my monolith up at an angle, so when it falls, it should, by rights, make a nice big tidal wave. Am I right?
I like what you've done. You see, the angle means that when it falls in the water and then falls on the water, that will reinforce the wave and push more water.
Push.
Yes.
Pushing.
Pushing.
The water.
That's what it's all about.
Let's see what happens.
Right.
3, 2, 1, unleash! Oh! There's a nice wave coming. Can you see it?
Oh, that
it's
almost
a tidal wave.
white water almost.
Swooping along like an eagle under the sea.
Yeah.
Building like a tsunami, the wave increases in size and crashes into the shoreline, pushing it up 140 centimetres. Our best wave by far, but still not enough, and it's left to John and I to give the people of Test Centre on Sea the end they so richly deserve.
So if we've got a 3-mile square sheet of steel and drop that into the channel, would that work?
Probably, yes.
Brainiac. Brainiac.
It's cardiac time down at the lab. We've wired up 5 Brainiacs with healthy hearts to pulse monitors and devised 5 unhealthy ways to raise their heart rates without exercising. First, a nicotine inhaler. Next, 10 espressos to give the body a massive dose of caffeine. A saucy lady, because arousal increases blood pressure and heart rate. And to make sure her charms don't affect the other competitors, some screens. Pain. in the form of 3 of the spiciest sauces known to man. And finally, fear. Another way to get the old adrenaline running. And they're off! The Brainiac who can achieve the fastest heart rate without going into cardiac arrest will be the winner. And nicotine, a stimulant, off to a good start with 88. Caffeine is also a stimulant, but swallowed straight into the stomach, it takes longer to reach the bloodstream, so it's too early to tell if his heart rate will climb above 75. In the sexy section, our Brainiac's a little too preoccupied to check his monitor. Eating hot and spicy condiments will make this Brainiac experience pain, and his body releases adrenaline, raising his heart rate to a furious 95 beats per minute. When in a state of fear, a person can give a start or jump. It's called the fear stimulus. Muscles are tightened and the heart beats quicker as the body prepares for fight or flight. He doesn't look in any state to do either, but it must be working since he's taken the lead with 114. Close behind is Nicotine Brainiac, extra spray pushing his heart rate up to 100. Caffeine's on his 7th cup and has finally joined the race with 96. Sexy Brainiac checks his monitor, 64 beats per minute. One can only assume he's not fond of blondes. Known as the Japanese horseradish, this concentrated wasabi is hot, irritating, and painful, pushing Spicy Brainiac into 2nd place with 105. He's hot on the heels of Fear, who's just maintaining his lead with 114. But Spice Boy is onto his last condiment, the chili sauce, and he's right back in the race with 113. Our sexy section is proving a bit of a disappointment. Either the kit's faulty or he's in a coma. Nicotine Boy's slipping off the pace too, and it's a disappointing result for the Caffeine Kid, but he's so wired he doesn't care. And it's all over. And while hearts are allowed to return to normal, it's time to check the results. Which method made the heart beat fastest?
And the winner with the highest heart rate is Fear.
So there you go, with a peak of 114 beats per minute, the winner is Fear. Well done. The rabbit, a ground-dwelling mammal with powerful hind legs and a lucky foot. The Brainiac, a ground-dwelling mammal with powerful hind legs, but coming into contact with his feet is considered to be most unlucky and possibly fatal. Today we find out who's the luckiest, Brainiac or Beast. The test, roulette. The stakes, high. They both start with £30 of chips, and the richest after 3 rounds of betting will win. The rabbit will be placing its bets with its lucky rear left foot, the Brainiac with his rather poorly coordinated arms. Round 1 for £10.
Place your bets, please.
The rabbit's put his foot on the second 12, which means all numbers between 13 and 24. The Brainiac has chosen the third 12, that's numbers 25 to 36. The wheel is spun. And it's landed on 14, but it's too early to count your winnings yet, Mr. Rabbit. There are still 2 more rounds to go.
Place your bets, please.
The rabbit has placed his foot on evens, so the Brainiac's gone for odds. A lucky rabbit's foot originates from the Afro-American hoodoo, but the magic seems to have failed this bunny. That 3 means a win for the Brainiac. Final round.
Place your bets, please.
The rabbit hedges his bets with £10 on the third 12, but the Brainiac's gone all in, bravely placing every penny he's got on the second 12. And it lands on a 28. Disaster for the Brainiac. The rabbit finishes with £60, which should keep him in carrots for a good while, but the Brainiac is left with nothing but his dignity. Sorry, my mistake. He really is left with nothing. The victor in this week's Brainiac vs. Beast is Beast.
Come in. Stand over there for me, please.
Mr. Tickle, what can we do for you today?
Nurse, I'm bored. Can you show me something interesting that I can do with my body?
Certainly, try this. Take these sunglasses and watch this pendulum swing side to side.
Righty-ho.
Now take the sunglasses and put them over your left eye. Tell me what you see.
Huh. Weird. It looks like the pendulum's rotating clockwise.
Now put the sunglasses over your right eye.
Okay. Even stranger. Now it looks like it's rotating anti-clockwise.
At lower levels of light, it takes the eye longer to process an image. Wearing sunglasses over one eye makes it respond more slowly than the uncovered eye, creating the illusion that the pendulum is moving in a circle instead of side to side.
Wow. Thanks, nurse. That's amazing. That'll keep me amused for hours.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Tickle.
Bye-bye.
Things what my body does.
Hi, my name's Jackie, and the thing what my body does is...
If you think you remember this lady, then you'd be right. Earlier in the series, she did this with her shoulder. Now she's doing something equally disgusting with her knee, wiggling the kneecap about inside a layer of particularly loose cartilage. Lovely. There are some experiments that can't be done in a lab. They have to be done undercover. Today's experiment requires one man on his way to a job interview. But how many people will tell him he's got chocolate smeared all over his chops?
I'm looking for old Bexley business partner.
Don't know, mate. I ain't got a clue. Don't know what that is.
With all that chocolate on his face and his bald head, he looks a bit like a baby. So he may have trouble convincing people that he's a grown-up going for a job interview. But somehow, it seems to be working.
Where?
All of it.
Oh, no.
Despite the distraction of having to think about directions, people are pointing out the suspicious-looking brown mess that surrounds his mouth.
I want to get to...
No, you've got chocolate in your mouth. You should...
No.
Before you go.
Really?
Do you want a mirror?
Oh, God, I've got an interview as well. Oh, right.
Oh, you've got chocolate around your mouth.
No, really. Oh,
Do you know
one
you've
feet.
got chocolate around your mouth?
No.
Okay.
Really?
Do you want both?
So there you have it. 75% of people will tell a man on his way to an interview that he's got chocolate on his face. I don't know what you're smiling at, and do something about those teeth.
Hello, it's liquid oxygen time. Liquid oxygen, it's very special. Today, it is aluminum saucepan. Ursula, my love, please bring the aluminum saucepan. Oh, my sweet Ursula. Ursula, you have food on face. I love her so much. First, I burn aluminium pan filled with delicious meat dinner with oxygen in air. It simply heats up pan. So flippin' what? But what happens when I pour in liquid oxygen? Ursula, bring the ignition device. See now, ignition. Liquid oxygen so reactive, it even make aluminium of saucepan burn. Blinking heck. That's what I call cookery, Gordon Piggin Ramsay. Liquid oxygen. It's a miracle!
Hey, you!
Stop!
The following experiment is dangerous. Do not try this at home. I implore you.
What happens if you put a bunch of sparklers in a big microwave? Just pop it on full power and get out of there as fast as your legs will carry you. But what will happen next? Will the sparklers A, explode, B, A, or C, B? The answer is A, they'd explode, and B, A, and C, B. The microwaves cause the iron filings in the coating to spark, igniting the sparklers which begin to burn at 1200 degrees centigrade. As more and more sparklers are lit, combustion inside the microwave increases until... that's it. The sparklers are turned into bangers. An appropriately grand goodbye for an extraordinarily big microwave. We do these experiments so you don't have to. Do not try this at home. In a galaxy far, far away, just off the M25, lies the Brainiac Space Center, boldly pushing the boundaries of rocket science because there's some stuff NASA never tried. Your spaceship's flight console looks like it's in perfect working order, but there's a problem: a loose nail. The ship's commander has snagged a petticoat on it and ordered you to hammer it down again.
Without gravity, you just can't muster up the necessary force to knock it back in. Can rockets propel a sledgehammer with enough momentum to knock that nail back from whence it came? I hope so. For your sake. The rocket here is attached to this sledgehammer here, which is in turn attached to this rotational arm here and all the way down there. When the rocket fires, the hammer will swing in an arch way over there, reaching speeds of up to 200 miles an hour and striking the nail on the console and bringing it back to its former glory. The world's first rocket-propelled hammer. NASA never tried this. Okay, Brainiacs, clear the launch site. Striking will take place in due course. And now for the final preliminary checks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bingo! Hammer of the gods! Like a mallet on a mission with a quarter of a ton of thrust behind it, that hammer was able to tap that nail back into place. Well, I can confirm that that nail is well and truly knocked back into the flight console. Nobody's going to be snagging any clothing on that anymore. Can I have the results, please? Thank you. When, in the future, builders start hammering away on Uranus, you can't say that the Brainiac rocket scientists didn't have a little bit to do with that. Take that to NASA.
We've tricked a variety of acts into auditioning for a new talent show to find out if they can still perform while receiving electric shocks. After applying high-voltage pads to today's auditionee, it's time to say hello.
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 What's your name?
Hugo.
Hugo, what do you do?
I'm an actor.
All right then, Hugo. Action.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
As amateur dramatics go, he's definitely an amateur, but somewhat lacking in the dramatics department, so let's give him a bit more motivation.
It is, Imagery, it is. Here hang those lips that I have kissed. I know not how oft.
The electric shocks are interrupting the signals being sent from his brain to both his arms and his voice box, leaving him incapable of either speech or movement.
Songs of Aurora to the table. Get ye gone to my lady's chamber and tell her.
Amateur dramatics. Another act you can't perform while being shocked with electricity.
Thank you, Hugo. That was Oscar-winning. Bye.
Here's one for you. If you only have one eye, do you blink or wink?
Brainiac. Brainiac.
47-second science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks. If you jump in the air on a fast-moving train, will you come down on the same spot? Trains like this travel up to 140 miles per hour. Until earlier this year, scientists believed that the human body was incapable of withstanding such speeds. But thanks to recent advances in technology, we are now able to conduct this experiment for the first time. Due to the height restrictions imposed by the low ceiling, the Brainiac must crouch down to do his jump. The area is checked for flatness whilst he psychs himself up for the big moment. And there it is! Because the train and everything in it, including the air and the Brainiac, is travelling at the same incredible speed, there is nothing to slow him down, and everything stays in the same position, relative to everything else. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. 47-second science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stars in Their Caravans with your hosts, Dolly Boy and Dolly Girl. 10 weeks ago, we trapped a ragtag bunch of celebrities in 10 shabby caravans. But now, only page 3 pin-up Keely Hazel remains, hoping to follow the rest to freedom when her caravan is destroyed. After 10 weeks of solitary confinement, our lonesome glamour model has finished knitting her sweater and is eager to leave. Poor love. But she'll have to wait, because Ofcom regulations stipulated that in the interests of fairness, we still have to select a celeb. So who will it choose this week? Well, fancy that! It's Hello Hazel! Finally, we're letting you go, love. Just as soon as you've played Long Fuse, Short Fuse. Glamour model Keely, inside your caravan is one of your treasured possessions. Would you like to tell us what it is?
My solid gold knitting needles.
Oh, I say, how glamorous! Well, your special sticks are lying right next to Super Brainiac's Mercury Fulminate. We're about to ask you a science question. Get it right, and we'll light the long fuse, giving you a chance to save your precious knitting needles. Get it wrong, and it's the short fuse, and your knitting days are over. Okay, here's your science question. When a lion breeds with a tiger, they produce a liger. A whale and a dolphin spawn a wolfin. But what is the product of the unholy union between a donkey and a zebra? Take your time.
A Deborah?
Oh, it's the wrong answer. The correct answer is a zonkey. Better hurry, young lady. The short fuse has already been lit. But what's this? Carefree Keely doesn't seem too bothered about her knitting needles. Oh, it doesn't matter. She doesn't wear woolens that often anyway. Mercury Fulminate is an extremely toxic primary explosive, highly sensitive to friction and shock. Just right for blasting your last remaining caravan into fiery oblivion. Well done, Keely. Like all the other minor celebrities before you, you're now free to go. How about a goodbye kiss? No, I think she's playing hard to get.
Thanks, Brainiac.
No, thank you for playing Stars in Their Caravans. Seems like a nice girl. Hope you had as much fun as our celebs. Abby Titmus, Wazza Thompson, The Wags, Tony Blackburn, Danielle Lloyd, Gail Porter, Jane Middlemiss, Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee, and the one and only Frank Bruno. Hurry up, son.